everyone. My name is Andrew.
My name is Shuhui.
And my name is Josué.
And welcome. Welcome to our fifth discussion episode for episode 5 of Shrouded Stories Beyond the Great Wall.
I completely forgot about that.
I'm not sure how I feel about the addition of our choral.
Oh, I hate it.
Thank you.
Okay. The important thing is we tried it. It might not have worked perfectly, but let's move on. we are coming off of our season finale of Shrouded Stories, in which we have the aftermath of the chaos and the cataclysm and the other word that begins with C that happened at the end of our previous episode. So we have the bulk of the action here being Nüwa mending heaven. It's in that way a crafting episode. She saves the world through the power of crafting, which is great, and I'd love to, play a video game like that. But just to back up, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself because I wanted to make that crafting comment.
It's very in tune with her character. She crafted humans.
It's true. No, yes, the themes check out, which is great. So we touched a little bit last time about the nature of some of the elemental chaos here. And here we are picking up basically directly where our last episode left off, and we are once again plunged into this world of elemental extremes. We're given these comments about, of course, the big flood happening, but also there are fires raging everywhere. It's not a great thing. So my question is, as far as we touched briefly on this before. It feels like the initial cause of all of this was the flood. That with the entrance of the waters into the world that upset the balance, it kind of allows for all of these other upsets in the nature of things, like the appearance of the animals and the fires and so forth. Is that kind of on the mark?
I believe so. Imbalance of the force is the bed of growing of monsters, even disease sometimes, like we see in human worlds as well. And if they're coming from the sky, probably some of them, like the dragon. I don't think we ever bear them in the human world, but stuff like the big birds, or like monsters that are eating people, that might be mutations from the chaos, and they might originally be from on the earth.
And you mentioned at some point in one of the previous episodes that dragons became like in charge of the rain.
Yes.
Why? How? Who was in charge of it beforehand?
That is a very complicated question, because in the event of rain, you have thunder, you have lightning, and those two are in charge by different people, deities. Sorry, and then you have it's not late in the history until we see stories like Journey to the West, and they sort of have dragons taking the job of when to drop the rain, and if you miss a time, you get punished as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they will get it like a schedule. They don't determine when to drop the rain. Somebody else determines that. They just drop the rain.
So there's still like a hierarchy.
And and they usually live in seas and stuff.
So as far as this dragon in particular, you mentioned that these seem to be creatures that already were wandering around, but just were kind of brought to some that's maybe you could phrase it as saw an opportunity in the chaos, or they were elevated, we can say, by the new nature of things. Was this dragon just hanging about and just thinking, "Ooh, a flood! I know what to do with this. I'll attack the world, and I'll demand tribute and devour people and so forth"?
I wish I could answer more to that, but the original text of this story, they spend 1.5 line describing the entire story episodes here, and the following paragraphs were just describing how glamorous Nüwa was after she solved the misery, and then how she retired and fled away.
So the important thing is Nüwa.
Yeah, it's kind of like a glamoury departing from the human world.
Sure. She regains her protagonist status in this after it was unceremoniously snagged from her by her brother husband, Fuxi. But this brings up a good question, though, that by this point in the story, we have... We a little pantheon has started to develop. We're getting the characters are accumulating between Fuxi and Nüwa, and then later on Gong and Judo. I guess the question is, it looks like the only one who's stepping up to fix things here is Nüwa. I guess, is everyone else just kind of asleep at the wheel?
You mean like is the king just asleep at the wheel and not doing anything?
How could that be? Kings are so productive. Yeah.
I don't want to say for
move
him, but like in the story.
We're not experts.
Yeah, again,
We're not
personal guess.
we're not experts on anything. I bring it up just because I don't want to use a trivial sounding comparison, but we're talking a little bit about how it's kind of like after the first Avengers movie, you kind of have to ask every time like Thor or Iron Man or someone encounters a problem, you think to yourself, well, just call some of your friends, and that should help. But then again, I guess in this case, it's, as we said before, the thing is resolved not through brute force of combat, except for the dragon. It's more the restoration of things on a more sort of metaphysical level, or say that once the forces and elements of the world are restored to order, a natural following occurrence is just things getting better. So I guess that Nüwa had it covered.
Again, no expert, but I since like during the process as I was like reading those stories, first there's no, like I said, like a line to follow. So those stories are very scattered, and you'll see them as protagonists sometimes and don't appear at all in other stories. And then I do get the sense of Fuxi is more like a real human that happened in history, while Nüwa is like a entirely deity figure that is far away from humanity. But like that, I can't say for sure for this. But this is kind of the feeling that I'm getting.
Yeah.
While reading.
Like someone that was actually real, and then through story, God mythologized.
Yeah.
That's always intriguing. Yeah. I mean, we talked a little bit. Well, no, actually, I should say we neglected to talk last episode about some of the other effects of this falling out of the world, like this very specific geographical business of the sky tilting and... wait, I wrote it down. Hold on, I'm sorry. The sun, moon, and stars gather northwest, and the water runs southeast. So the assumption must be that it has something to do with Chinese geography, and this has some explanatory value?
So if you look at the Chinese map, I don't know how I look on camera, but like on the east and south part of the map, you will see a lot of seas. Just a lot of water. And that's most Chinese water goes into eventually. So I'm thinking, I believe it's an explanation of why the waters are going that way, because the floor is tilted. And then the sky, because we've been observing stars since, I don't know, like 1,000 years ago. Yeah. And we do notice that the skies are not still. So you kind of have to find an explanation for why it's moving all the time.
Oh, I just love constellation explanations, if that makes any sense.
So it's not just that it got like tilted and stuck there.
Yeah.
It's always moving.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
It's cool. It is. It's absolutely cool. So as long as we're on the subject of, the ocean, the turtle, which is the other like big new character, kind of. or enough to get a name. It's Ow. By the way, we haven't really said this as much, but we should offer an after the fact apology, or at least on my own behalf,
Or a disclaimer.
Or a disclaimer that our pronunciation, at least mine and Josué's, are not necessarily pitch perfect. We're doing our best, and Shuhui has been very, very patient with us as we try and figure things out.
Same for my English.
No, my God. But all that being said, with this turtle, ow. So I have several questions about this turtle.
Okay.
To begin with, if I wanted to hold up the earth, or hold up the sky with something that's really, long and sturdy, then I'm not going to necessarily go to a turtle for my legs that I'm going to be chopping off.
That is totally understandable. Because when you picture turtles now, they have really short legs.
They got little,
They're now technically walking by climbing. So, at the time, he actually had really long legs.
The turtle?
Huh?
The turtle?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh? Okay.
4 legs, really huge. And then after Nüwa cut them off, that's why they have such short legs.
Oh,
now.
It's like this is why the snake crawls after the Garden of Eden. That's that kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was in the oceans, right?
Yeah. Ocean's deeper than the Earth.
Yeah. No. I mean, sorry. Like, I'm just like, was it like
A sea
flipper kind
turtle.
of thing? Like a sea turtle? Was it like an actual
These
leg? Like.
Use your imagination. I mean, whatever fits your imagination, I guess.
The original authors of this myth really needed to consult us. We would have gotten their turtle facts
Did
all
it go
straight.
underwater, or did it just like stay above all the time and the legs would just have...
Okay, there's another mythology story I've related to this. I don't know if it's true, but this on his back he carries 3 other mountains, which can be the door to the above world, and sometimes it will be above the water, and then if people are lucky, they can go through the channel. But most of the time, they're staying underneath.
I see. Oh, I was mistaken. I was thinking of a couple of really spindly long legs, like reaching down to. But no, it's a thicker thing than that.
Yeah.
Thick legs on this.
That's why you need 4 of them. Maybe stacked.
Yeah. But it's kind of sad for the poor turtle that it just like, oh yeah, you no longer have long legs.
True.
But there are sayings that to compensate that kind of sacrifice, they did give the turtle longer life.
Okay.
Oh, like Nüwa in particular was like, I'm taking your legs now, but here you go, take an extra 50 years.
If it's herself, not sure, but it could be.
Heavens.
The heavens.
Yeah.
These forces again, slightly indescribable that we've
Amorphous energies.
amorphous, ambiguous. Other things. Sorry, not to play thesaurus here, but also more turtle facts.
Okay.
This feels like just because it is such a big turtle, it also feels like a big deal turtle.
Yeah.
Like, is this a deity figure? Is this some kind of a? It's certainly not a trivial animal that just.
It does come back in stories sometimes, and just a fun fact: it get married with one of the dragons, and one of the baby they had is a half turtle, half dragon, which loves carrying heavy stuff.
Cute.
Oh, like a D&D dragon turtle.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah.
This is. I'm not sure if there's a connection in the inspiration for those
But
things.
the dragons are not like one-on-one. It's not exclusive. He has more wifeys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm glad you brought this up. As long as we're talking about the nature of dragons, like.
Yeah.
Especially when we picture an evil dragon, usually, especially for a refrain that's common for a lot of these discussion episodes, for us folks who've grown up on Western media and Western stories, we'll picture something in the vein of Smaug, like it's going to be the big flappy wings, the fire breath, and the scales. When we picture this dragon here, like, are we wrong to picture it in that way? What should we be visualizing, or what's implied to be the visual for this particular kind of dragon?
I'm no animator. I'm no filmmaker.
If I'm just reaching for something that's not there, then I apologize.
But there is a difference between Western dragons and like Chinese dragons.
Sure.
At least from popular media.
Yeah. They do look different. It's more snake-like than lizard-like. But they do have legs.
Yeah.
Usually 5 fingers. Claws, sorry. Not fingers. And then I don't know.
Did they come in charge of the rain because they're more snake-like? Kind of like
It does have its connotation to it, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, and 5 fingers make sense. So they can do human things. So that they can because it seems like a lot of. Again, I don't know for. Yep.
They don't always have 5 fingers because if you are interested in fashion for some reason, like Empire's robe, they usually have dragons that has 5 claws. But if you go down, like their successor, like the sun, which is pointed to be the next heir, they will have 4 claws, 1 less.
So there's a hierarchy to it
Yes.
as well. Like the more claws you have, the higher you are. 5 being the maximum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's totally different from what I was thinking. Oh, that's interesting. Oh my God, because my thought was that because in so many of these myths, dragons are anthropomorphized as things that can interact with the world as characters. They can talk. Sometimes they cast spells or they write things. I figured that 5 fingers help storytelling wise to let dragons do things.
Yeah.
Interesting enough is if they want to, they can always transform into human form. Almost all deities in Chinese mystery can do that. Even if you are not a human to begin with.
That's like the contrary to Zia's.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah,
but I like that. The I won't say the lack of barrier between the divine and the human, but the accessibility, if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of which,
the turtle. We covered the turtle. I'm glad we did. We got some dragon facts in there. Okay, so
I got another question about the turtle.
yes, you in the back.
Yes. Okay. So the legs were strong enough to withhold basically replace Banggo's the Buzhou mountain. Were they placed on the same place? Were they placed all around? Is there anything
It's said to be placed on the 4 corners of the sky.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So literally holding it up by the 4 corners. Okay.
Oh, so the universe is a square. We said 4 corners.
No, that's true.
I mean, 4 opposing directions. Does that make sense?
Oh, I see. So there's
So it
a
could be a
north,
sphere.
south, east, west thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was excited for the square world. That's okay. Okay.
It's a cube.
It's a cube. It's a cube.
We did have this theory of, it's a long time ago, but the sky is a sphere and then the floor, Earth is a square. That's why if you see old Chinese money, it's always square and with a square hole in between.
I didn't know that. Look, it's like this discussion episode is doing what it's supposed to do. I'll have to look at some old Chinese money now. That's great.
Weird.
Yeah.
But not too old, because a couple hundred years BC, they were still using all kinds of different money. And maybe starting a little bit later,
Yeah, when it got more standardized?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's great. I love standardization sometimes.
Okay.
Just for... never mind.
Next question.
Next question. So, Nüwa, at the end of the story, she, quote-unquote, retires.
Yes.
My question is kind of about what that means. Because, when we hear that word, we tend to think about, you're done with your job. You can take your last few your twilight phase of life, and you can start a new thing, and you withdraw in some way. But then there's of course the meaning of the word of it's late and I figure I'm going to retire, so I'm going to go to bed. I'll see everyone in the morning. So how do we mean this word retire?
It's definitely longer than overnight.
Yes.
It's more like she's taking a break from being the guardian for human, but she's still somewhere, and she will return for other stories as well, but maybe taking a different stand.
Somewhere. Somewhere. Well, like.
Do you mean
like in the?
Sure, the Asgard heaven.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Sorry, it's just it still troubles me.
Right, like does she have a farm somewhere where she's yeah? But you
she went up the hole or something.
Yes, you implied just now that it's possible we might get a villainous return.
I wouldn't say villainous. That's probably too far.
Okay.
But like I said, she and Fushi were providing us tools to have us live our own life, and then her moving on to a higher level. It's that means she's taking a different stand as taking the job of balancing the yin and yang as her work, other than just helping nurturing human. So if human are the ones started to disturb with the chaos and stuff like that, she might start to intervene.
Okay.
That's good of her.
It's a shift in priority.
Yeah.
Like no longer like humans were her babies, so she would take care of them, but then afterward, like it was more about the balance of things. And so I guess like ascend it in a way to like this higher plane that's like more focused on the whole balance of things.
Yeah. I'd say that.
No more favoritism.
No more favoritism.
Damn it. That's a shame.
I mean, she demanded no praise.
She demanded no praise, but if she weren't already getting a bunch of praise, she might have felt differently about that.
I mean, she wouldn't have been good.
True, yeah. So that is a part of this, like,
we did build a lot of temples for her.
Yeah, I was about to say, because the sort of big climaxing of this is the worship that just kind of is our happily ever after for her and for humans in this case. I mean, so I assume she just kind of, aside from those few moments when she reappears in major plots, she just kind of probably just enjoys being worshipped forever on.
I mean, sure, why not? Who doesn't?
Yeah.
I would kick my feet up. I mean, if I had just saved the world through my crafting abilities.
Well, you could also view it as a very selfish act in a way of like, oh, like humans are her babies, her creatures, the things she made, and suddenly they're being killed by this other thing. Like she might as well just like get rid of that thing and just like make sure what she made endures. And this is all like we're going much more into like are things inherently good or evil, or like is there a selfishness to human nature, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
But yeah, it just kind of makes sense, like, or like even to some extent, even like it doesn't really like need to matter. Because like it's more about the effect that she had on humans rather than vice versa.
Yeah, I mean we're certainly getting into a realm of, which is always fun, of psychologically analyzing these mythological characters.
She's passing the agency to humans.
Yeah, I mean basically saying, oh, okay, it wasn't an act of love that drove her to care for humans. It was an act of possessiveness. She felt that these things were hers, and I mean this is something that you hear about.
What thing is black and white in life?
Yeah.
Like there's overlap of things.
Yeah, exactly. And I bring this up knowing that perhaps this is not always the most useful framing device for ancient myths, but it is fun for us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good for us. Well, listen. I know we're kind of running out of time, and we've gotten to the end of our major questions here. We've covered things we didn't expect to cover, which is fun. We've talked about turtles. We've talked about dragons. We've talked about retirement. Dragon turtles.
In retirement.
In retirement. Any other big things before we sign off for the season?
Well, she went around like cleaning house and getting rid of the monsters. Like, did she just like get rid of all of them, or like just the big ones, or like
as part of delivering the agency to human? I believe maybe she took her big boys and then
the dragons.
Yeah. Then the monsters human can deal with them themselves.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Personal guess.
No, sure. We can take care of a couple of wolves maybe here and there.
I can't.
I mean, I can't. Yeah. So someone else in the distant past, probably at some point, took on a wolf.
We need an
and won.
axe.
We need an axe. Bring me the axe. Yeah.
I think that's it.
This has been lovely, you guys. So this brings us essentially to not only the conclusion of this episode, but also of our season of discussion episodes for Shrouded Stories.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way, he said, turning to the camera. Feel free to write little comments on things.
Feel free to send any questions you have, any additional questions or comments or corrections to contact@shroudedstories.com. And we'll be looking them over, and we'll actually be making another discussion episode specifically for those questions and to address all of those details that were not covered here.
Oh, it's going to be a swell time.
All right.
Yeah. I was just going to say...
No, go for it.
I was just going to say thank you and goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye.
Yes, Shrouded Stories, Beyond the Great Wall. We might have a pre-recorded outro to do during this bit anyway. But thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Translation by Shuhui Yang. English adaptation by Andrew Goehring. Music by Solomon Locke. Sound effects by Shuhui Yang and Josué Vera. Art by Ursula Yang. Produced by Shuhui Yang and Josué Vera.